Sorry. I was talking about my pink hair, and I was just seeing if I actually had volume today. And it said I exited host mode. I don't even know what that means. Twitch is driving me mad at the moment. Hopefully I am live. Let's hope I'm live. Let's hope I'm live. Who knows if I'm live? Anyway, I'm just doing it, just chatting anyway. Worst case, this is not live, and I end up putting it on the YouTube vlog. I give up. It says, had my hair done pink. A friend of mine did it, but I walked the dog yesterday, did a load of cleaning, and then had a shower and went out in a windstorm. And I should really get the straighteners on it and fix the windswept black bit at the front. But that's what happens when you decide. Yay! But that's what happens when you decide to go out with wet hair and it's windy. It literally sent it everywhere. But I've got pink and black, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I am slowly rediscovering who I am. Thanks to Coaching for Geeks, Robin. I am slowly, figuring out who I am and what my purpose is in life. The pink hair was part of that process. Well, the pink and black was part of the process. But as I went out yesterday with it wet through, and it was like the worst wind. And I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So there's little bits of kinks and things. So I'm going to have to get the straighteners on it. Excuse me. I am absolutely dying today. I overdid it a bit yesterday. I'll get my eyebrows sorted as well to match the black, I think, or maybe at least dark brown. I overdid things a bit yesterday, so I'm absolutely dying today. And I've been in bed most of the day, so I'm actually still in my jammies. And the pink hair dye's coming off on my jammies. Luckily, it washes off. Jammy day today. Been absolutely dead. Absolutely dying. No sign of moobs in the chat, so I'm assuming this is not working. Husband's not come along. I think he's watching somebody else. He might be watching somebody else. Who knows? I can hear him upstairs. I think he's watching somebody else upstairs. Because no moobs in the chat to tell me. Or booms. Or smooboops. Or sobobs. Or any of those things to tell me that we're okay, we're live. Anyway, the other week I was filming, and as quick as I filmed, my sound disappeared apparently, and people were trying to tell me in the chat that I had no sound. I was chatting away like blah, 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 blah. I had no sound. So I don't know if I've got sound right now. If I've got sound, can you hear me? Do I? I'm trying to do it so in case somebody's there and I can go, can you hear me? Please let me know if I have sounds. Please. I'm going to have to yell at Eno in a minute and go, can you tell me if I've got sound? Oi, husband. He's terrible. Do I have sound? Or am I talking to myself with no sound on? Anyway, I'll keep going, because who knows? This is worst case, it ends up on my YouTube blog. I overdid it yesterday. I nearly died after yesterday's. And I did some stretching and stuff as well during my turbo time to try and help my body. It has helped a bit, but what I've learned is I need to focus on my legs a bit more. Didn't do enough legs because my legs feel like I'm a Lego man. I'm walking like a Lego figure, which is hilarious. But I reached my 10,000 steps easily yesterday. Not even an issue yesterday. It was like, yeah, boom, there's your 10,000 steps. Before 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm not surprised. Because the dog would not come home. He had about a 2-hour walk yesterday. And I was still dragging him home. He wanted to stay on the park with his friends. He has a group of little doggy friends. And he wanted to stay on the park with his little doggy friends. And I dragged him, kicking and screaming, all the way home. But after 2 hours, it was like, I've got to go home. I have other things to do. Dylan had a play date with one of his friends yesterday. First time in over a year that he's been allowed to have a play date with a friend. It's really good. He's allowed to actually have a friend. So he had a play date with a friend yesterday, and it's his birthday on Friday. Well, it's his birthday on Saturday, but he's having a birthday on Friday. And because he can't have more than one, we have arranged that the kids will all meet at the park after school. And I'm going to take some cake and some biscuits and some crisps and some crap basically down for them to eat. And they can run around like headless chickens. I've got some bubbles for them. We've got some aeroplane gliders, you know, those things that you chuck and they, yeah. I've got some temporary tattoos for them all. They can all basically just chill and, you know, have themselves a little bit of a fun, hoping the weather stays okay. It's great today, and it's not supposed to be, so I'm a bit like, please, God, stay alright for fucking Friday. Just give him a little bit of a birthday. Just a little bit. He doesn't need, you know, hours. He just needs, you know, a couple of hours. Well, not even a couple of hours, maybe an hour with his friends on the park, playing with things. And because I can't do party bugs because it's not a proper party, I've bought all these temporary tattoos and they can all take them home and got lollipops coming out my tab holes. So I'm a bit like, please, 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 just let the weather stay off. Let the weather be fine. Hoping, fingers crossed for him, that he's got weather like today. Because even if it's a little bit windy, I can cope with that. Because they're just going to run around the park. They're just going to be crazy. I don't know how many's going to turn up. I've told the whole class. That's what we're doing. So I bought 50 lollipops and, you know, 48 tattoos, and I think I've got 40 gliders, and I've got 24 bubbles. So hopefully I've got enough, but don't quote me on it. And I says I'm going to buy some like pink wafer biscuits and, you know, kids junk, you know, some crisps. So, you know, and some juice and let them just, yeah. Well, I was actually going to buy flavoured water and bring a load of flavoured water because it's probably easier. And most parents aren't going to be fussy about flavoured water compared to like some of the juices. Like I can't have like orange juice around me anyway, unless it's like fake orange. Never seen an orange in its life. Citric acid flavouring with orange tang. Yeah, proper orange. All the dogs come and said hello. Hi, Gads. Hi. Hi. I'm tired. He's my big hunk of love. He's my big hunk of love. Leo! Have I got volume? I asked. Oh, you'll check now. I asked him to check. I asked him to check like 5 times. Volume okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know, sweetie. Thank you. Sorry for disturbing you. I've been chatting away. Omobs. See, we needed a variation of boobs. or moobs in the chat. Booms. Yeah, see? Thank you. You don't need to, you can go back and do what you're doing and watch your Hearthstone videos and stuff now. Just checking I've got volume. No point me sitting here chatting away to myself and no volume at all. But yeah, dog cam. You're my big hunk of love, aren't you, Gats? But yeah, he did not want to come home yesterday. He just wanted to play all day. And now today, all he wants to do is smooge around the place. Should we go in for a let's annoy the dog? Should we go and annoy the dog? Should we go in for a hi beautiful? How are you? You're famous. Do you want to be famous? Get you your own channel. We can click on all those. Do you want to be famous? Yeah. Gatsby channel. Yeah. The Gatsby show. Love you. We love you. You're just going to sleep, aren't you? Sleep, Mum. Leave me alone. Sleep, Mum. When you're on Twitch stream, make you famous. When you're on Twitch stream, we can make you famous. Oh, he's so handsome. He's so pretty. He is. Look at his big dopey ears. Look at him. Big dopey ears. Oh. Oh. Mummy. Big dopey ears. I have to clean out every week, don't we? Mummy has to clean those ears all the time. He doesn't like it. He does not like having his ears cleaned. It's not his favourite task in the world. They also need fleeing. I forgot they were supposed to be fleed on the 17th. I must get on that later. Him and the cat both need fleeing. We're struggling with the cat's worming. I don't know what we're going to do about the cat's worming because the cat really does not like being picked up at the best of times. He's quite flaky. He'll quite happily come and sit with you, but he doesn't like being picked up. And he certainly doesn't like pills or anything that's like that. So I don't know how the hell. We've been struggling. I've tried putting it in foods. I've tried everything for he just doesn't do it. It's awful. And I've said to the vet a million times, have you not got no liquid? So I can just give him like a liquid suspension so that I don't have to do that to him. Nobody listens to me. The cat needs some liquid wormer, not the pill, because he is a nightmare. The dog couldn't give two hoots. I can literally just hand it to him and he'd eat it. It's a beagle. That's what they do. Isn't it? That's what you do, isn't it? You just munch. Munch, crunchy, munch. But, it's a worming tablet, no problem. You know, dog. Cat, not so much. And these tablets are huge. One of our other cats that we used to have a long time ago, Otto, she died about 4 years ago now. But we had her for years and years and years, and she was like proper our baby. And she'd just let us do it. She'd just be like, yeah, all right, thank you, where's my treat stick? But him and his brother, nightmares. Now, I could occasionally get it into Miles by putting it on something like chicken or something like that, and Miles would just go, all right, then I'll eat it if you've mashed it up and put it on chicken. But Ben was still always fussy. And the only reason I could get it in him was because him and Miles used to compete for the chicken. So occasionally I could get it in him by tricking him, if you get what I mean, into competing with his brother for the chicken. But he's not bothered anymore. Now his brother's gone. Now his brother's passed away. God rest you, Miles. I hope you're okay. Bless you. In Bass Warming Grey base. Bless you. Poor little Baba. Oh no, it's going to make me sad. Let's not think about the cat being run over. But now Miles is not here anymore. Ben's taken to, he doesn't give a crap about competing for the food anymore, and he's quite happy to eat dry food, not interested in the wet food at all. And if I put like fresh chicken down for him or something, not bother. Don't want it. Would rather have 57p pillows, you know, the filled pillows, like cheesy filled pillows and things from Asda, than he would have a piece of chicken. He's a strange cat. I've never known one like it. As says, he doesn't like being picked up. He's quite flaky. He does things on his own terms. And as we're not cat owners who are like, you will do what we want, we're like, yeah, whatever, love. Be you. As long as you're happy. He came home the other day, he's got a scar across here and a scar across here from fighting with some other cat. But then another cat kind of came and tried to invade his yard the other day, and he was like rolling around and shoving it in his tummy and going, "Hi, be my friend." And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Who are you? How are you fighting all the time and yet at the same time rolling around for another cat going, "I love you." You know what I mean? I don't know if it was a female or what. But I don't know. But he seems to like this tabby cat that keeps coming into our garden. Seems to enjoy that tabby cat's company. But he's a strange cat, and we just, as says, we watch enough Jackson Galaxy to know cats are cats. You let them be who they are. They've got their individual personalities, and his personality is very aloof, and slightly flaky, and slightly skittish, and he will do things on his own terms. He'll come and happily sleep in bed all day, all night and all day with me if I'm in bed. You know, he'll quite happily come, "Oh, okay, I'll come and curl up with you." But as soon as I move, he's like off and he's gone for hours, and he's, you know, he doesn't like anybody moving in the bed. If you move in the bed, oh my god, you may as well have just, you know, injured him permanently the way he carries on. It's like, oh, you moved. How dare you move? I don't like it. So yeah, he's a weird personality cat, but he is who he is, and he's cool. He's a cool cat. As we've accepted that that's who he is. But it does not make it hard to get worming tablet into him. And him and the dog both need fleeing and worming. It's going to have to be me that does the horribleness of trying to catch him and holding him and putting this fucking tablet in him. Because Leo will just be like, "Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, because he needs it. He's going to get diseases. So yeah. Poor cat. Poor me, because I'm going to get clawed up. End up with another scratch on my tattoo or something. Oh, my tattoo. This one is not finished. It's supposed to be a full sleeve. Well, half sleeve. And then going up into a full sleeve eventually. But it's supposed to be a half sleeve. And I was booked in on December the 29th to finish it off. And of course, lockdown stopped that. So we had a situation where we couldn't go and get it done. So I contacted the tattoo artist and said, "Look, when you open now, let me know." And it's booked in for June. I'm going to have my tattoo finished. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited. I'm like, oh, I can have my tattoo finished. The only issue is it's for an afternoon. So it means that afternoon Leo's going to have to look after Dylan while I'm having a tattoo because it's a 3-hour session. I think it's like a Thursday afternoon or something like that as well. So I'm a bit like, it's going to be till like 5 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, I think Leo's either going to have to do some extra work during the rest of the week, or he's going to have to do like a weekend for a few hours. Excuse me, my nose is itching. Oh, excuse me. My nose was itching then, and I was like, why is my nose itching? I'm sneezing, that's why. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so Leo's going to have to look after Dylan for a few hours because I'm not going to be finished till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I start at like 2. It's a 3-hour session. So I will have my tree of life with pentacles going around it, 9 of Pentacles. Because the original design was supposed to be the phoenix going into the Tree of Life, being joined by the Mahende. So there'll be a lot more black Mahende going through this. So, yeah, there might be a very typical Tree of Life. There might be quite a typical phoenix, but there'll be a lot of Mahende that's not typical, and it makes it unique to me. And there'll be, because this part of my hand here, I had done after me and Nia got married. So this is quite old. And you can see where we've joined the Mahende in from this design, and there'll be more little Mahende designs going into the Tree of Life. I don't know if to say put some colour in the Tree of Life or not, but seeing as the phoenix is quite colourful, I might say to him, go for your life, do what you want. If you want to put colour in it, go for your life. But we're having the 9 of Pentacles, which is like stability and grounding, and, you know, is represented by the tarot card as a woman in a garden holding a bird next to a tree, or with a tree, and the pentacles growing off the tree normally. There are other representations of it. I've seen some beautiful ones. I've seen like a face going into a tree, and you know what I mean. There's some beautiful representations of it, but generally it's a garden, and a garden growing into security and stability and things like that. With the bird, well, we had the bird, which is the phoenix, because we also rose out the ashes. So we have the beautiful phoenix. See if I can give you a better. That's my beautiful phoenix. I had it very bright because I wanted it bright. And then I was like, it's going to go into the Tree of Life on the other side, and then that's going to be a boring general Tree of Life. We're not doing anything fancy with that. But then it's going to have the pentacles either hanging off it or around it. And then we're going to blend some more Mahende through so that it blends through together into one piece, if you get what I mean, to one sleeve. And that's, anyway, where we're going with it. So that should be awesome. Get that finished. And then, as says, eventually I'll take it up even further into the shoulder and everything, and have maybe a mandala on my shoulder with the Mahende coming down into the phoenix and the tree. But we shall see. We shall see. That's for years in the future, because, you know, we can't afford to keep doing it every week. You know, if I had an income stream, I'd go and get a lot more tattoos, but I don't have an income stream, so I can't afford to keep spending money that I mean, maybe with birthday and Christmases and stuff, I can save up some more and have some more tattoos done. But bingly bing, I wonder who's online. But yeah, maybe with Christmases and birthdays and stuff, I can save up enough money and have another one done, or have some more done. But it'll probably be the other arm, and I have a whole idea for that one to do with Alice in Wonderland that I'm not telling people, because you're not stealing my ideas. My legs I'm pretty much done with, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna run out of arms and legs and things soon. That's the other thing. I need to find a job where I'm self-employed, because I can't go back to work for anybody else. I've got pink hair and tattoos. Nobody will hire me. All the jobs I've ever done before were in things like customer services and like catering, and you know what I mean, that kind of industry. I've worked for Subway and McDonald's coming out of school. I worked for McDonald's. So you know what I mean. It's always been that kind of thing, and yeah, they don't particularly like tattoos, and they don't particularly like weird hair, which is the other reason why I've had such a problem, because of expressing myself and who I am. Because a lot of the places I've worked for have been like, nope, you can't be an individual. You have to be, you know, and if you are an individual, it has to be covered. Your hair has to be covered. Your arms have to be covered. We can't let them be on display to the public, because they're so offensive to have tattoos. And it's like, to me, that's so outdated, because unless those tattoos are offensive, unless I've got a frigging swastika or something, in which case I shouldn't be hired in the first place. To those people, sorry, if you actually genuinely agree with that stuff, bye. Don't know what I mean? Bye, Felice. Go and get a job elsewhere. You shouldn't be in a public facing job because the chances are you're gonna run into people that you don't like, so to speak. And if you don't agree with that kind of stuff, but you've got a fucking swastika, go and get it covered. Seriously, because what the fuck did you have a swastika done for? I know in Hindi, in Hinduism, it's a different meaning and stuff like that, and that really causes problems for people because some people really like it as the Hindu meaning, but it's not a tattoo because it's been stolen and used as a swastika. It's not a tattoo you should want anymore, thanks to Hitler and his little bunch of people. So yeah, not into that. I never understood that as well. Why they chose a design that was Hindu to represent their hatred of anybody who wasn't an Aryan-raced person. But you stole a Hindu design. Couldn't you come up with a design of your own? You telling me? I mean, Hitler himself was a bloody artist. Are you telling me he couldn't come up with a design? I know I'll nick the swastika. Never understood that. Never understood that. If anybody knows the history of that, I might have to actually look that one up. Why they chose the swastika? Because it seems a bit strange to me. It just seems a bit. Anyway, but yeah. So, tattoo will be finished by the end of June, and I will have my full sleeve on my left arm. And since my legs are pretty much done now, I've got the one I want on my right leg. My left leg I have my little dagger, and I might just get it like touched up at some point because it's like 20 odd years old and its colours are fading. So I might just get the colours touched up, but that's like a 10-minute job for a tattoo artist at some point just to touch that up and just like, yeah, okay. Well, I say 10-minute job, but it's like half an hour job. And it's not really worth most tattoo artists' time to do that. So it'll have to be like an apprentice or somebody just touch that up. You know what I mean? Put some colour back in it. And make sure it's, looking good. But yeah, my daughter's got some amazing tattoos, and I envy her tattoos. But yeah, I there's more I want, but not much more. I don't want to go too more. The ones on my back, I'm happy with because confession time, confessions of the tattoo studio time. I had my first tattoo was a rose on my shoulder, and I hated it. Absolutely sodding hated it. So I went and had it covered, and it hurt like fuck, and I vomited. It was awful. But I thought it was a one-off, and I went and had a tramp stamp done a few years later. I'm talking good 6 years later, if not more. No, it would have been more than that because I was in Nottingham with Leo. So yeah, a long time later I had my tramp stamp done. And I had it done after having a lumbar puncture in my spine because I collapsed one evening. And I thought, okay, I'll have a little flame, just it's tiny, it's like this big, little flame on my tramp stamp area, just to represent what I'd been through. Worst thing I'd ever done. I nearly passed out. I vomited everywhere, all over the poor bloody shop. Worst pain ever. And I'm starting to realise I shouldn't have things on my back. So I've refused to have any more done on my back. I have this big, huge space on my back where I could just like tattoo to high heaven. And I ain't touching it because it's fucking awful. It hurts like hell for me on my back. So that's obviously my sensitive spot. Because you can do my leg. I've got half my legs done. Do you know what I mean? I've got my tattoo on my calf is actually huge. It's most of my leg. didn't feel a damn thing. Had this done, didn't feel a damn thing. I did actually feel it when he got to here. He got here, and this was near the end, and he got here, and it was actually making my knees twitch by that time, because of the bone here, and he was doing this bit, and I was like, oh, you're making my leg twitch, and he was like, really? And I was like, my leg was bouncing like that. And I said to him, you must be catching a nerve there that's actually shooting down to my leg, because I'd stayed fairly still for most of this and had no issue with most of this, but then all of a sudden my leg was going when he started doing that bit, and I was like, yeah, I can really feel here. I can really goddamn feel. So yeah, he was like, well, that's interesting. I've never made a woman's leg twitch while tattooing before, and I was like, well, you've made my leg twitch now by having this bit done. So as soon as I was having that bit done, as my leg was trembling like that, so I now know there's a nerve here somewhere that sends down to my kneecaps, and my knees start going, which was really strange. But as says, the next part is this bit, and this is going to be. This is my tree, and the rest of it is going to blend into the phoenix in the end of June. And this bit is quite fleshy, so hopefully it won't hurt like hell. But yeah, that didn't hurt at all. That, no problem. This bit, not great. However, my spine, my back, anything on my back, every time, hate it. Absolutely hate it. So, not doing it anymore. It says my leg, not a problem. Not an issue at all. Quite happily, just let them get on with it. No issue. No issue at all. In fact, I was listening to Metallica when I had my... No, I wasn't. I was listening to Iron Maiden. I had my dagger done on my left leg while listening to Iron Maiden. And the tattoo artist kept going, you all right? I was going, yeah, sorry, just jamming to Maiden. And he was like, okay. I'm saying, yeah, fine. This is the same tattoo artist, though, that I'd vomited on previously with the tiniest little thing on my back. So, just goes to show, doesn't it? You never know. So, yeah, I have... My tattoo is being finished. And I'm, like, excited. I'm excited. So, yeah, that's going to be fun to have my tattoo finished on my arm. I says it's not 100% finished yet because I would like to maybe take it further up my arm into a full sleeve, but it's money and time and things like that. This might be a few years worth of work yet. Because, but I don't think my husband has any clue where I'm aiming with this. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be completely covered in tattoos. My hair's going to be pink. I'm going to be completely covered in tattoos, and I'm going to be, I don't know, going back to who I am, I guess. Because I kind of realised that I'd stopped reflecting who I was quite drastically in life. I was always on the edge of what people would call greb. I was always a bit grungy, a bit grebbish, little bit goth, little bit witchcore, that kind of end of the spectrum. And I moved away from it after having children and, started dressing kind of boring and plain and started being kind of boring and plain, and I hate it. I've always been too afraid that I'm too fat now to go back to that, and I kind of gone, fuck it. Who cares? Who gives a shit? As I reached my 40s and just went, fuck it. Who cares anymore? Who gives a shit what I look like? If people have got an issue with what I look like, they can jump off a cliff, because to be quite honest with you, I know what I look like. It's not like I'm walking around going, God, I'm Cindy Crawford. Do you know what I mean? I know who I am and what I look like, and I know that pink hair suits me with a black fringe, even though it's a bit of a mess today. And I know that, I should have my eyebrows dyed black and I should be wearing makeup, and I'm aware. I'm aware of who I am, and I should be wearing like red, like burgundy reds on my lips, and I should be wearing, because yeah, light reds don't suit me. But those brownie reds and the burgundy reds. And I can't put black on, because every time I put black on, it makes my lips purple. Does anybody else have this? Anybody else in the alternative community go, oh, I'll buy some black lipstick? Oh, yeah. Because this was devastating to me when I was like 15. I bought this great black lipstick and I put it on and it went purple. And it went really purple. And it just looked like I got frostbite. So one of my friends said to me, just get a black eyeliner and fill it in with black eyeliner. So I did my outline of my lips with the black eyeliner and then started filling it in and it went purple. And I was like, I think my lips just don't get along with black. I think it just doesn't. And it got to the point where I was literally like, I was trying anything to make it as black as possible and it just doesn't work for me. And we were putting white powder on my lips before we blacking it. Didn't work. None of it works. It always ends up going like a really deep purpley colour on my lip. Don't know if that's just me or if anybody else has that experience. So what I decided instead was to go towards the, like, burgundies and things like that. And that worked for me. So I had the blacker eyeliner and burgundy lips. But I haven't done it in 20 odd years. And I'm like, am I confident enough to keep doing this? And I'm like, yeah, let's give it a go. So I'm gonna have to do some makeup practice at some point. Might stream it. Might stream my makeup practices. Because, worst case, it looks like shit. And best case, I end up with a good makeup day. So yeah, I might do some makeup practicing on the stream. Because that would be interesting. Everybody critique my makeup. Feel free. Because as I says, I've got to sort the eyebrows out because they're quite light. I've always had quite light eyebrows. And they also need trimming. So I'm going to have to get them kind of fixed up. Get my little trimmer on them and darken them up a little bit. Get a good eyeliner, get a good eyebrow pencil on them. But yeah, I'm like, maybe I should play with makeup on stream. I know one thing is I love talking on stream and I love chatting, but I don't get much feedback or viewership. So I am maybe going to think about YouTube a little bit more. Because these always end up on YouTube anyway. And I'm like, maybe I should just be a YouTube vlogger. But then I want to do silent karaoke with some of you guys. And I want to play Sims with you guys at some point. And I want to, it's just, I have to get my life organised and my life together. And I'm really crap at that. Because of my health and because of having a child and because of the world at large. I'm really crap at it. So I think I might be better off YouTube vlogging because at least then I can control what I put on the situation. But then I'm going to have to get a camera and stop filming shit all the time. And for that, I'm going to need assistance from my husband because tech support, because I fucking useless at tech. I am useless at it. But I do want to do some Twitch streaming of tarot for you guys, and I would like to do some singing on stream. So I might do a makeup vlog on stream. I might. Computer says no. Yeah, I'm crap at tech. Cough. You still watching? I didn't even realise you were still there. I thought you'd gone off to watch your Hearthstone videos. But yeah. What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, vlogging. I'd have to kind of sort that out a bit better. Maybe I could take some people along to my tattoo sessions and things like that. I don't know. I'll have to have a tattoo artist because, But, it's things like that. I would like to show you my world a little bit. You'll be watching me. Well, you didn't need to. It says you can go and watch it. I know you like to watch your Hearthstone videos and, I'm not that interesting. I'm really not. I'm not. I just chat nonsense. So you've been hearing me talk about the tattoos and how I want to be covered in tattoos. Here I was thinking you weren't there, so I could get away with talking about this. So, yeah, I just want my whole arm done eventually. Yeah, both arms. Just cover both arms in tattoos. Let's make this arm Alice in Wonderland and this arm Mahende. You've heard all of that, and I'm like, damn it. But as I says, I won't do it without an income stream, and I won't do it. I'll finish the one I've got right now. Incidentally, that song is the creepiest #1 single ever I can think of. I don't know, In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. Bad guy drowning. And him and another guy watching the ground. Yeah, oh my god, fan theory. Yeah, him and another guy watching somebody drown. Neither of them did fuck all to help him. Yeah, maybe that one. There's a few out there that I'd go, especially from the 80s. Yeah. The person watching Rottweiler stink. Well, Every Breath You Take is actually about his divorce. Or something like that, isn't it? I got this feeling the sting is watching me, and I have no privacy. Yeah, isn't every movie you make, every breath you take about his like a divorce that he was going through, and he was watching her and stalking her, or something like that. Well, because he didn't want the divorce, or something like, or a breakup, or something. Do you know what I mean? It was about, it was about literally stalking somebody because you were broken up with you. That's what I remember. But the Phil Collins is about watching somebody die. So, and then you have to remember Blobby, Mr. Blobby's been #1, which is also quite a creepy song, but in another vein. Blobby, oh Mr. Blobby. That's been #1 in the UK. So, that's not creepy, that's just disturbing. You see what I mean, though? It's creepy in another way. It's some people might find Mr. Blobby a bit creepy. Blobby's just irritating. He is a bit. But we've also had Bob the Builder as #1. But, yeah. No, Phil Collins is disturbing. Yeah, it is. It's quite when you learn that In the Air Tonight is about, I saw you watching that guy drown while I was watching that guy drown. It's like, okay, that's a bit weird. Okay, I'm just gonna back away slowly. But yeah, Sting's Every Breath You Take's pretty much up there as well. Yeah, there's a few though. There's a lot of songs that have been either very high in the charts or top or #1s in the charts that you go, okay, their meaning is actually really horrific or really creepy or really horrible, and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna leave that there and walk away slowly. Because nothing that people sing is ever what they seem to be. So don't trust it. Don't trust it, folks. In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, one of the greatest drum loops in history. Bad guy drowning while him and another guy watched him. Shut Up Your Face kept Ultravox off. Yeah, well, that's the famous one that Ultravox were kept with Vienna, which is an amazing song. Geniusly composed, absolutely brilliantly composed, especially the keyboards and synth bits in the middle with the piano. Amazing composition. Kept off by Shut Up Your Face. What the matter you? Hey, got the no respect. Hey, gotta love the UK. Gotta love the UK. I mean, Shakespeare's Sister Stay was a #1, wasn't it? That was pretty disturbing. Stay With Me, I think, was about dying of cancer, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so, it wasn't just stay with me, I love you. It was you're going to die. You're going to die, so please stay with me because you're dying. And it's like, okay, Shakespeare Sister. And that was a number one. So, yeah, there's quite a few out there when you go looking. There's quite a few tacky ones. There's quite a few stupid ones. There's quite a few disturbing ones. But there's also quite a few that's like, I had no clue it meant that. Yeah, I've charts for you. History of music for you. A lot of them are. What's the matter, you? Showing no respects means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of like songs out there that you think mean one thing and actually have a complete other meaning. There's several about stalking. There's more songs about stalking than. I mean, seriously. I'm not going to say it, but Meatloaf, I will do anything for love, is about bloody cheating on somebody. Come on. Because, I mean, she even says it in the song. I know the territory I've been around. It'll all turn to dust and it'll all fall down. Sooner or later, you'll risk screwing around. And he goes, I won't do that. And cheating is the one thing you won't do. Yeah, see? So, that's a song about obsession and cheating on somebody. But you know what I'm saying, though? People don't realise that that's what it's about. They have no clue because they don't listen to the lyrics of the song. You prefer the lunch version. Won't do that. I will stay fat. Yeah, poor Meatloaf. He's not even that big a guy. He's a normal-sized guy. So, yeah, bloody Weird Al. Weird Al's fault. I blame Weird Al Yankovic for people changing lyrics into things that are weird. So, Weird Al Yankovic's fault. There you go. No, I won't do that. I will stay fat. It's fine. I knew what you meant. I knew the song. I knew the stupidness of it. It's fine. So it doesn't matter which way round it is. I would eat anything for lunch. Or I would do anything for lunch. But yeah, it's fine. It's mean. Poor Meatloaf. He's such a nice bloke as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure Bryan Adams' very famous number one is a little bit creepy as well, if you listen to the lyrics, though. Because that's quite obsessional. That's like, I'm so obsessed with you. I would die for you. I'm so obsessed. No, it's true. Anything I do it for you. So I'm just going to go die for you. Alright? It's your fault. You prefer the Stewie cover, yeah. Stewie Griffin. But again, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's very much I'm gonna go kill myself for you. Is that all right? I will prove I love you, even if I have to kill myself. It's like, wait a minute, where is this romantic? So it's a bit obsessional and a bit. How many people have got married to that song without realizing all the innuendo about I'm gonna kill myself because that will prove that I love you. It's like, what? I'm gonna literally go and die for you, alright? Okay, you know what I mean? So how many people have listened to that song, had it as wedding songs and things? There's a lot of that though. But then again, we walk down the aisle to Nothing Else Matters. I walk down the aisle, sorry, to Nothing Else Matters. That has multiple meanings. So, don't know. But our first song was our first dance was definitely one that people cannot get wrong. It was about having sex because it was bad touch. So I walked down the aisle to Metallica, Nothing Else Matters, and our first song was Bad Touch because seriously, there is no mistaking what that song's about. Some people like that whole period drama, My Passion Burns for You, but must always be at least 6 feet apart to preserve decorum or COVID protection, whichever. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people who romanticize things that are actually quite, really? But yeah, Bryan Adams is constantly talking about how he's going to kill himself in that song. Or he's going to die for this woman. I'm going to die for you. I love you so much, I'm going to die for you. Scary. Masterful use of single entendre from the Bloodhound Gang on our playlist. There's no doubting what that song's about. I mean, they fucking say it right from the beginning. Sex, baby, sex. It's like, you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Keep it fucking now. Yeah, well, he deserves it after Run to You. Yeah, Run to You is completely like, oh yeah, I love her, but I'm going to go over to you and have sex. Yeah. She has a heart of gold, she wouldn't tell a lie, but that would change if she ever found out about you and I. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You know what I mean? 'Cause that, the whole song is, I'm just gonna fuck off and cheat with you because I love her, but you're the better shag. What? What you sing to the woman you will leave your wife for? Yeah. Sex, baby, sex. Men and penises, that's the problem in the world. My son's already got like 6 girlfriends and he's like 5 this week. Pop songs are just full of filth. But didn't Chris Brown sing a song as well after he punched up Rihanna about hitting a woman as well that got into the charts? And I'm like, for fuck's sake. Men, what is wrong with you? You're a whole species of weirdos. And some of you are really nice. And it's like, those of you that are really nice are being dragged down by the weirdos. Pop songs are just full of filth. That's what we've discovered today. We've discovered that there's some disturbing pop songs out there as well. You're going with Every Breath You Take as the most disturbing, and I'm going with Phil Collins in the Air Tonight as the most disturbing, because as it says, that song is literally about somebody dying and drowning to death while everybody stood around and watch him. Which nowadays would be even more, because back then it was in the 80s. Now they'd actually fucking film it on their cameras while the poor sod drowned. Do you know what I mean? I remember, don't worry, we were all stood there with our phones out. Sorry. It was the first time, the last time we YouTubed it. You know, it really would be. I think the most pathetic, creepiest one is Daniel Bedingfield's If You're Not the One. No, I'm going to raise you. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, it's true. I saw you on a subway, you were with another guy, but I want you anyway, so watch as I stalk you around a bit. Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, sorry. But you're not the one, and you're the only one who can make me feel like this. Sorry. But yeah, it's... No, I'm raising you. I'm raising you. The the most annoying man in pop who is absolutely brilliant on Twitter. Seriously. You're beautiful. I saw you on a train with some bloke, and I was like, oh, that's your boyfriend, is it? I'm going to take you, and I'm going to stalk you. I'm watching you. Yeah, the James Blunt one is about seeing some girl you fancy on the tube, literally. Yeah, and stalking her. If you listen to the rest of the lyrics, he follows her around and stalks her. The Daniel Bedingfield one is about trying to guilt some girl into bed with you. Yeah, well, they're both as bad as each other. I don't know. Whatever happened to him anyway, Daniel Bedingfield? I know where James Blunt is now. And I says, go and follow James Blunt on Twitter, Twitter, people. He's amazingly funny. He is hilarious. He has a very tongue-in-cheek sense of humour and has no issue dealing with anybody who hates his music. So, and I don't mind some of his songs, but that one just pissed me off. But whatever happened? Pop Songs by Men, A Guide to Toxic Emotional Retardation. Yeah. But how many of them were actually written by men as well? Because that's the other thing. I'm not sure James Blunt wrote that song. I'm not sure maybe Daniel Bedingfield wrote that song. But his sister was more famous for writing. And that's another one. Natasha Bedingfield, his sister, sang a song about, I'm going to have your babies. I want to pop out babies for you. Toxic female much. Hi, I've met you. I want to marry you. And have lots of babies. Come on, let's have lots of babies. It's like, bitch, slow down. Bedingfield definitely wrote his songs. Yeah, I didn't know if his sister was involved in that one though, because she wrote a lot of her songs as well, and she was pretty fucked up. So I didn't know if it was the Bedingfield siblings writing that one. And I was going to say, if it was, then she's just as fucked up as him. But then, as says, she sang a song about popping out babies, so... Whoops, I want to have your babies. Get serious like crazy. We've only been on one date, but you know. Okay. Yeah, you're a bit scary as well. So yeah, maybe it's a Bedingfield thing. Daniel and Natasha Bedingfield. Your parents need to sit you down and have words with you both. You're quite scary. Yeah, she wrote one about being proudly single. I mean, mixed messages much, yeah. I'm happy to be single. Oh my God, you're so pretty. Have my babies. You know, we don't even need to date. You can just impregnate me. What? Maybe she just wanted a sperm donor. I don't know. Maybe that was it. Maybe she's like, I want to stay single, but I need a sperm donor. And you're quite cute, so I'm going to have your babies. But, yeah, there's a lot of shit fucking songs that are weird. When your skin, you piss me off. Yeah, it is quite bipolar. But Katy Perry's hot and cold. Bipolar. Don't I mean? Bipolar song. That's the most bipolar song. But it's about somebody else, luckily. She didn't sing it about, I feel this way. You know what I mean? She just sang songs about being a firework and being a plastic bag. Never understood that line. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? No. Nope, never, ever had any correlation between myself and feeling like a plastic bag. Don't know why. I felt a lot of things in the world. No, I've sometimes felt like I'm useless, and I've sometimes felt like I'm a crappy person, and I've sometimes felt like, you know, happy, and but I've never felt like a plastic bag. Don't know, just doesn't... Maybe there's a bunch of teenagers out there who understand what she's on about and are like, yeah, I feel just like a plastic bag. And I'm like, well, I don't. I have no clue. what it's supposed to feel like to be a plastic bag. So there you go. Katy Perry, sorry, no clue. But yeah, the Bedingfields, both of them, bit weird. And I don't even know what happened to him. I know she fucked off to America. I know she had quite a few hits in America. But I have no clue what happened to Daniel. There you go. Must look it up. What happened to Daniel Bedingfield? It says, I know where James Blunt is with his I saw you on a train and now I'm going to stalk you. With another bloke as well. So you had a boyfriend and I'm still going to stalk you. But yeah, I know where he is and he's wonderful, bless him. We were talking about on Spud TV the other day about Rick Astley. Because he's now does a lot of covers of other people's songs and YouTube's and on TikTok and things like that. And I'm just now, I never was a big Rick Astley fan, but now I'm like, I love Rick Astley. He's got a proper sense of humour. I love James Blunt. He's got a proper sense of humour. I don't mind people who don't take themselves too seriously and have thick skin and are just kind of coping with life in the best way they possibly can. But yeah, yeah, gotta love it. But Rick rolled. But yeah, I love Rick Astley, and I'm pretty sure he did some Daniel Bedingfield covers. I'm not sure, but I know he's been doing some weird covers. Because people just request them of him, and he does some really cool covers. People should be sad they missed out on this stream today. Why? If people don't want to, I says I'll vlog it anyway. I'll put it on YouTube's. It'll be on the YouTube's. I've talked tattoos and I've talked nonsense. Talking about how horrific pop music is fantastic. And it says I'm pretty sure. I mean, pop music is one thing. Go into rap, as it says, but I'm pretty sure Chris Brown, who is on that border between rap and pop, has done songs about beating up women when he beat up Rihanna and things like that. If you look into things, it's like some people are just fucking crazy. But it's like TV and movies. There's always going to be, stuff that people kind of go, this is just a bit fucking rapey and weird, or this is just a bit. And music is the same. Music has that connotation. I mean, it says if you go into gangster rap, you fucked. The misogyny is strong there, people. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, it's all about how they're going to rape women and shoot things, and you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But when you realise that some pop music is just as fucked up, that's when you start going, hold on a minute, I've been singing along to that song thinking it's a nice little song, and actually it's quite horrific. And there's a lot of it. You don't realise. That's what I'm saying. They ain't trying to be on top of the box. But that's what I was trying to say about, like, if you step into, like, gangster rap, you expect it. If you step into heavy metal, expect a lot of death and, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. If you step into gangster rap, expect a lot of misogyny. But when you realise it's in pop music as well, that's what I was trying to say, is where you kind of go, hold on a minute. What? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of it. There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of horrible stories as well from old pop bands and rock bands and stuff that are just. Ace of Nazi salutes, I saw the sign. And it was a swastika. And all she wants is another baby because she's from a filthy Jewish ghetto. God. Oh, God. Leave Ace of Base alone. They did some good stuff as well. Oh, dear. But yeah, all that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow. It's like, you've got all these songs that you like. You don't realise until you go and look. No, seriously, they're all Nazis. Yeah, but. Yeah, okay. I can't argue it. Yep, fair enough. I was going to go, yes, but they have done a couple of songs I don't mind. They're a right-wing Nazi pop group. Yeah, they are, sort of. Yeah, I can't argue it. Poor Ace of Base. But then people accuse Rammstein of being a right-wing Nazi pop rock group, and they're not. And again, it's because people... That's like saying Hitler had his bad points, but he was a vegetarian. I know. That's why I'm like, okay, I can't really... But there's people say Rammstein's right-wing and Nazi, and they're not. They're actually not. It's misunderstanding their agenda, if you get what I mean, and what the band's about. You know, poor Rammstein. I love Rammstein. Till Lindemann, me and Eno were on about this the other day. I've been a Rammstein fan since they started, basically, and I know somebody who works with them. And the point is that people think the Rammstein sounds like a Nazi group when they're actually not. Ace of Base don't sound like they're anti-Semitic fascists, but they are. Yeah, I know. But anyway, I've been a Rammstein fan for a long time, and I know somebody who has worked for them, or maybe still does work for them. I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was working for a different band, and it was more of one of these emo bands that I actually took my sister-in-law Becky to go and see, because she was like 18 at the time, and I took her to Rock City and ran into him again and was like, "Oh, you're working with this band now?" And he got her some signatures and stuff anyway. And yeah, long story short, don't know if he's still working with them, but he always kept me away from them because he knew full well I was obsessed with Till Lindemann. If Till Lindemann knocks on my door, so this is why I'm putting it out here. If Till Lindemann knocks on my door and says, "Leave your husband now," I would. He is a babe in a blender with a cherry on top. He is like, I don't go for like the Hollywood norm of what is like attractive, but Till Lindemann to me is gorgeous. And then I was watching something the other day that was on about how he likes little tiny, tiny little skinny goth girls, and that's his preference. And I'm like, how very dare you? So I'm very upset with you, Till Lindemann, because I'm not a tiny little goth girl. I'm an alternative big girl. Come marry me. Come on. Leave those little gothy girls alone. Come to me, baby. Come. Yeah, and I will leave Leo. I will leave Eno. He won't stand a chance. But there you go. That's my plea for Till Lindemann. Hi. They're playing Cardiff in a few weeks, and I'd love to go, but it's not going to happen because we've got Little One and stuff like that. Because they so rarely do the UK. And the last time I saw them was actually with Eno at a festival, but they very rarely do the UK as a proper tour by themselves. So I'm a bit like, I'm going to miss out on it. But yeah, people think Rammstein's a Nazi group. They're really not. And Ace of Base are. I can't argue with Eno on this one. They are. Ace of Base are a bunch of fascists. Yeah. Oh dear. But there's a few bands like that you kind of go, oh, they're nice bands and they're horrible. And it's the same with music everywhere. There's bands that are misunderstood and misinterpreted, and then there's, as the famous Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden once said, if all metal bands got into power, there'd be a lot of talk about death and drunken debauchery, but actually none of it would be happening. We'd actually save the world a little bit. And it's just kind of the same, you know what I mean, with other things that get misunderstood. Well, as there are some shits out there, and then normally the people who portray themselves as sweetness and light are awful. Absolutely awful people. I've heard stories of a lot of the Disney kids who are now famous are awful fuckers, and things like that. So yeah, a little bit right wing, little bit bad. Disney, I'm looking at you, you Nazi fucker. That's another Nazi fucking situation. I want to take Dannon to Disneyland. Yeah, screw you, Donny Osmond, you monster. Never heard anything bad about Donny Osmond. Never. Because of course I'm always into that kind of stuff, and I've never heard anything bad about Donny Osmond. Makes you wonder, but they're Mormon, aren't they? So they're just like the proper harmless people of the world. You know what I mean? They are just like, let's make a leather wallet and be friends. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You specifically picked him because he's supposed to be a really nice chap. That's why I've never heard anything bad about Donny Osmond. He's always, everybody always says he's a nice person. Everybody always says, but then again, we live in the UK where, for a long time we were letting Jimmy Savile around fucking children. You know what I mean? Gary Glitter. Do you want to be in my gang? My gang's a bunch of fucking pedos, but you know what I mean? It's like, so you never know with people. But Donny Osmond, I've heard nothing but great things about, and apparently he's supposed to be really nice and quite laid back, and he's a Mormon, so they're a bit like, who cares as long as we're happy people, if you know what I mean. If you've seen the South Park episode, they are very much who cares if our belief system's a bit weird, we're happy. Well, as Tom Cruise and Scientology, do you know what I mean? Yeah, the Gary Glitter is his sudden and complete ejection from. Did you not blame them for rejecting it from Cockney rhyming slang though? Because yeah, he's awful. He's an awful human being. Oh, of course, yeah. I was gonna say he's an awful human being. Awful human being. Would you let him babysit your children? No. No. But at least he's known. We know he's an awful human being, so we can keep him away from the children, lock him up, and keep him thrown away. Whereas some of them, who knows? Who knows who's still running? The one that surprised me was actually Rolf Harris. He always seemed like such a nice bloke, and I was like, but apparently, there's a few of them like that from the 80s who you think they're nice, and actually they're fucking assholes, or they're actually, do you know what I mean? And you're like, really? You hear stories now they're gone, if you know what I mean. I remember in 2013, Frankie Boyle tweeted, if 2012 taught us something, that's that if you locked up anyone who looked like a pedo, you're probably mostly right. Yeah. But as we grow up with, like, the very sexistness of things like Benny Hill and things like that, where he was chasing around young girls around a tree with as an old pervy man. And I think we kind of just accepted that, if you get what I'm saying, as like, oh yeah, it's just a bit of fun. So when these guys were actually stepping over the line and not doing it for a bit of fun, as a comedy and as like innuendo, and we're actually doing it, I think it, they crossed a line and they went over a line that was disgusting. As I was surprised by Rolf Harris because he always seemed so harmless. He really seemed harmless. It makes me wonder about Tony Hart, because he always seemed harmless to me. He always seemed like your uncle who would let's do some drawing, kids. There's a few of them now. I think back and go, what about him? Rod and Emu, was he a bad person? I don't know. Apparently he was a bit of a bitch, to be honest with you. But I never heard that he was a pedo or anything, but apparently he was a bit of a grumpy git. Apparently didn't like people very much. But you kind of sit there going, was my whole childhood a lie? Do you know what I mean? Were they all just pedos and horrible people? You know what I mean? Yeah, people are evil. Yeah, people are. TBF, people are evil. Yeah. Yeah. But, you do go, is my whole life a lie? Because I love Boy George. I love Boy George. I think when I was a kid, I really loved him. And as an adult, I really like him. But he's done some horrible things. He's done some horrible, horrible things. Yeah, it's weird when it turns out that Paul Daniels was the most upstanding citizen among the crop. Now that's magic. Yeah, bless him. Little Paul Daniels, and to be honest with you, I think the only thing he was guilty of was he married Debbie McGee and he had a falling out with his son, and that was about it. That was Paul Daniels' life. That was the most controversial thing in Paul Daniels' life. He married Debbie McGee, who was a little bit younger than him. And they had a great life together, but he had a bit of a falling out with his son at one point. If that's it, if that's the most controversial thing you've done in your life in the 80s and 90s before you passed away, you're a fucking saint compared to the rest of the world. He was a classic comedic type northerner as well. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But 90% of when Louis met Paul was Paul Daniels asking how much. Yeah, well, don't blame him. He's got to make a living somehow. Especially by then, because he wasn't on TV anymore and he had no... He was a bit of a money grabber, yeah. He seems a bit spinning, yeah. But, by then he wasn't making money on TV and stuff. He had no TV show anymore. Bearing in mind, he'd gone from being one of the biggest things in the 80s on TV, had his own shows and everything, to nothing. So, yeah, he was probably clawing back some of the tax money that had... Bless him. Bless his little cotton socks. But yeah, he seemed like an okay person compared to the rest of them. So the worst you can say is I had a bit of a fallout with my son. I'm a bit of a tight ass with money. And I married Debbie McGee. Great. Off you go. But I says it makes you wonder about all of them. You sit there as an adult now going, if I go back through my childhood, Keith Harrison Orville, was he a dick? Was that duck harassing people? You know what I mean? Never heard anything bad about Keith Harris, so I'm saying nothing really. I'm just joking. But, kind of concerned about what that monkey was up to. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we had Rainbow with Rod, Jane and Freddie. We all know about the Zippy Bungle and George. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on. What was going off back here? Yeah, there's a lot of things I look back on now and go, what were we on? No, Keith Harris had a second career taking the absolute piss out of his first career in student unions. You have to be quite self-deprecating to do that. Yeah, I suppose so. But it says I've never heard anything bad about him, but who knows? This is what I'm saying. It's quite disturbing when you think about it. But we were on about, even down to the films we watched as kids. The 80s were just there to disturb people, I swear. Everybody goes on about how great the 80s were. The 80s were disturbing. Everybody was a paedophile. Everything was hidden. Everything was, you know what I mean? The most honest person in the 80s was Margaret bloody Thatcher, and they all hated her. When you look at it like that, it's like, whoops, you know what I mean? To this day, everybody hates Margaret fucking Thatcher, and I'm like, as a woman, I sit here going, well, she should still be celebrated as one of the first women to get into government and into power. But you can't because she's a bitch. But at least she was an honest fucking bitch. She was honest about what she was doing and why she was doing it, unlike some of the sneaky bastards we have now who, across all parties, not just Conservative, but Labour and fucking Lib Dems, all of them are fucking all on the money rather than fucking actually giving a shit about getting on with the government. Sorry. Nasty stuff came out of the 70s, but all that nasty stuff came out of the 70s. That's what I'm saying, the 70s and 80s were awful. Awful time. Jeremy Beadle was a really nice chap. Yeah, I heard he was a good chap, so thank you, Jeremy Beadle, for being the nice one. They vilified any celebrity that turned out to be gay. All the while it was smoke and mirrors and distraction from the real monsters. Yeah, that's sadly the case. It's like, don't be anything other than what we tell you to be and conform to what we want you to be. But it's okay to go and rape children in your dressing room. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. The world was disgusting. It still is. The world's a fucked up place. The human race is fucking awful. We're an awful bunch of people. Anybody tells me otherwise, I'll call you a liar. We're awful. You know, Matthew Kelly is not only a decent chap, a much better actor than most people give him credit for. I saw him play Dr. Gallagher on the stage, and he was incredible. He played Dr. Caligari on stage, and it was incredible. There you go. So, I've heard Matthew Kelly, though, can be a bit of a fuck off, leave me alone person. So, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I have heard he's a bit like, yeah, you've had your pick, now fuck off. But then we also had the Michael Barrymore situation. Oh, God. Stop going on about the Ace of Base. You really don't like Ace of Base, do you? Seriously. We get it. They're a bunch of dicks. As was the Venga Boys. But you know what I mean? There's a reason they were called the Venga Boys. Just doing a back reference. You find it hilarious. Yes, I know. But it's just... I couldn't believe that when people didn't realise the Venga Boys were called the Venga Boys for a reason. Like... That's how stupid people were in the 80s and 90s. Why are they all called the Venga Boys? There's 2 girls. Yeah. Anyway. Whoops. But yeah, it's weird what we grew up with. You think of the things we grew up with, and you're like, how did we survive this? I'm surprised. I grew up with the Say No to Strangers song at school. Say no to strangers. Say no, 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 no. Say no to strangers. Do, 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 do. That one. Say no to strangers. And just say no to drugs and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, everybody who's fucking on the TV is going to rape you, murder you, fucking, you know what I mean? Plough you full of fucking drugs and alcohol, but say no to them, kids, you know what I mean? Say no to strangers, just welcome your friendly neighbourhood paedophile instead, you know? It's like, oh. You fucked. You know. And I still don't trust Keith Richards, not Keith Richards, Cliff Richards 100%. I know that he was cleared of all charges, but I'm now really suspicious of him. I'm like, you know, because it makes you that way. It makes you go, what are they all fucking... Is everybody from my childhood just deserving of going to jail? Do you know? Everybody. Just put them all in jail and leave them alone. I mean, we all know about Michael Jackson. Whether you like him as a musician or not, he was a great musician, a great singer, and a great artist. Not sure I'd trust him babysitting any children. Do you know what I mean? It's horrible when you think about it. Madonna fucking sex mad. You know what I mean? So some of the women are even fucking just as bad. You know what I mean? I'm not sure I'd trust Madonna around. I mean, she's currently dating. She's 60 odd. Same age as my mother, actually. She's in her 60s. She was born the same year as my mother. She's in her 60s. She's dating a 21-year-old. Pat Sharp deserves jail time for crime against hair. Although he's owned up to it and shown remorse. So he gets to be on hair probation. Maybe we can put him on remand. Let's just put him on a... For crimes against hair, Pat Sharp, you will sentenced to 5 years of being remorseful about your hair. And if you should have a stupid haircut again, you will go to jail. Shicky's scared stiff now. He's like, I want to dye my hair fluorescent purple, but I can't because people hate it. I'll go to jail. Go to hair jail. Bless him. Poor Pat Sharp. Oh, dear. But yeah, it's just... We lived in a fucked up world. Fucked up world. And says Madonna's dating a 21-year-old. She's dating somebody younger than her own child. I'm really disturbed by that. I'm like, and everybody goes, oh, well, men do it. I'm like, yeah, there's no excuse for men doing it either. It makes me laugh now because people talk about how Keanu Reeves is dating somebody who's age appropriate. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with him dating somebody who's age appropriate? And so, well, he's a Hollywood star. He should be dating a 20-year-old like Henry Cavill or whatever his name is. He's a bit of a perv, apparently. I love your booming granny. But yeah, Henry Cavill, who's the Witcher dude, he's a bit of a perv, apparently. He likes the 18-year-old girls and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, it just makes me sick. You know what I mean? Like, I like Seth MacFarlane. Really like Seth MacFarlane. Keanu Reeves is a modern day folk hero. Keanu Reeves is a fucking god compared to what, you know what I mean, the rest of the world is right now. Keanu Reeves is like Jesus walking. He is like, the man needs a sainthood. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's like modern folk hero isn't just good enough. He needs a fucking knighthood. Seriously, somebody knight Keanu Reeves. The man's fucking the only one who you can go, yeah, that's Keanu Reeves. He's brilliant. There you go. I mean, since we've been watching The Orville and Seth MacFarlane, we love him. I love his humour. We love who he is as a person. I love his views in life. And then you find out he's shagging everything that walks. He's had more relationships than I've had hot dinners. You know what I mean? Half of them with cast members. And you go, dude, it makes you look like a bad dude. It makes you look bad. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, Jim Carrey's got genital warts. You're taking the piss out of the fact that Jim Carrey's got genital warts. And then you're fucking running around fucking sleeping with everything that moves. It doesn't, you know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. Do you know what I mean? He knows he's dysfunctional now. That's why Brian's whole character is about, yeah, I know, but it's just, you grow up. Brian equals says, yes, I know, but grow up. You're in your 50s, grow up. You're in your late 40s, early 50s, somewhere around there. Grow up! Alright. Must be early 50s. Grow up. But, you know, Keanu Reeves dates a woman who's age appropriate and the fucking world goes crazy. And it's like, well, Keanu Reeves is a decent bloke, that's why. The only person on the fucking entire planet that seems to be a fucking decent bloke within that kind of famous remit. You know? It's like, what the fuck is wrong with the world? What the fuck is wrong with you all? I don't know. But it's that thing about opportunity, isn't it? It's just like, you know, men who are in the public limelight or have more opportunities. Seth MacFarlane's 2 years older than me, so yeah, he's in his late 40s. You know, they have the opportunity. They have more interaction with people willing to have more sex with them. So why not? But it's just, it just gets my head going because it's like, I don't understand it. Mainly because, I mean, like, we have friends who are in unusual. Men generally do not understand women. If they did, they would behave better. Yeah, true. But we have friends who are in unusual relationships. We know of one that's poly. We know one that's doesn't know what he is. We know of a few that, you know what I mean? We have friends who are stranger than the norm. And I'm quite monogamous. I'm very much into monogamy. I'm married to one person. I either stay with that one person. I joke about if Till Lindemann knocked on the door, I'd run off with him. I actually wouldn't. I don't know the dude. He could be an asshole. I'm happy with the man I'm with. Coming down the stairs in a mo because he's going to disappear from chat because he's going to go and pick little man up. Yeah, well, I'm going to stop when you go to pick little man up anyway. But yeah, men. But I think it's not. We can't just blame it on men because women raise men. So women are not teaching their boys how to be proper boys, if you know what I mean. And by that I mean there's nothing wrong with teaching your boy to be a gentleman. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with giving consequences to kids. There's nothing wrong with teaching boys that their genitals are not the most important thing and that they can have love in life. You know what I mean? We need to. It's women's fault because we teach boys that way. So we teach boys how to treat women. So, or how to treat other men if they're with other men.
Bugs and flowers. That's how you treat a woman.
When have you ever bought me flowers? I think the last time you bought me flowers, I mean, I much prefer it when you get them out of the garden.
Yeah.
I'm much more appreciative of when you nip into the garden and go and get me some flowers out the garden than buying them for me. I think the last time you bought them for me, I gave them to somebody else.
Did you?
It was when I gave
not sure.
birth, wasn't it?
No, we've had them since then.
Oh, I've had them since then. I don't remember. You see, this is how little I give a shit about receiving flowers. I much prefer it when he goes and gets me a lily out the garden or gets me a flower out the garden and puts it on. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, we need to sort out the gardener.
We do.
It's getting a bit ridiculous.
I'm beginning to think that they might have to get a different garden service, which is a shame.
Yeah. Well, that it's getting very high, so we're going to have to get it sorted. But yeah, anyway, Eno is downstairs now, which is why he's no longer in chat. But yeah, men are a bit weird. But
They're not a bit weird, they're just stupid.
But they're stupid because of us women, though. That's what I'm saying. As women aren't
What?
teaching you not to be stupid.
Yeah, well, the fact is that, I mean, the reason... Right.
There's too many games played between people in general. Whether you're into men or women or other women or women or other women, or whether you're poly, whether you're bi, whether you're pan, whether you're any of that. There's too many games being played between people, and that's what the issue is. So women need to be taught not to play certain games and not to behave in certain ways and to be upfront about how they think and feel about things, because there's nothing wrong with being upfront about telling a man that you expect a certain way out of them. I did him. We went to each other and I went, no, I need you to behave like this, and if you don't, then I'm going to leave, because this is what I expect out of my relationships with people. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I think people are too afraid to have confrontation.
Yeah,
teach each other how to be around each other.
The shorthand is that men don't understand women, but they do understand other men. And part of their not understanding women is that they think that women understand other women, they just don't understand themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay? Which leads to men not being able to understand any woman that they care about. Yeah? Right? And the other part about it is that men don't understand, therefore, any women, right? But they understand that any woman they're with understands other women. But what they understand about that is that they don't understand what that woman understands about other women. They just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand, like, men understand both mostly themselves and other men. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the big problem is that women don't understand themselves, which leads to men not being able to understand any individual woman. Yeah, because it's like.
But I think a lot of women not understanding themselves is because we're told not to.
Is that, maybe it is? I don't know.
We're told not to be who we are.
I guess that is true.
I've always been told not to be who I am. I am anyway, but I'm slowly now going back to being more comfortable in expressing who I am.
I think it's true that the thing is that women get screwed up because they are rewarded for behaving in ways that are mostly not part of their personality.
Yeah.
And if they're rewarded for acting in that way that society expects, and it is part of their personality, they get a massive fucking power complex on, because they're like, I'm being rewarded for behaving in the way I want to behave, while, you know, literally 80% of other women are desperately unhappy with trying to behave like me, so I must be special and fantastic, which is completely not true, because roles made up by society are just
bollocks.
Roles.
Yeah. Bollocks.
Men, on the other hand, right,
are just clueless.
Well, no, because a lot
just walking around going, I don't know.
A lot of their behaviour is seen by society, or things that, you know, boys will be boys' behaviour, is seen as somehow acceptable, like, and not only that, but expected of men who don't want to behave like that. And if they don't behave like it, then they're being, you know, less of a man and blah, blah, blah. Like, machismo is a sort of thing of like, is that how men behave, right? Yeah. Whereas when women behave in a way that a person behaves, sometimes that's wrong. Whereas when a man behaves like a person behaves, that's kind of background. Nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah.
But it's expected that the show they put on is all this like, I want to fuck all women ever and blah blah blah. Like that's a role. It's a model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're rewarded by that.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I'm saying. And to be honest with you, having sex is a nice thing. Sex is pleasurable. So they're rewarded by the endorphins in their own body. They're rewarded by society for that. They're rewarded in lots of ways for behaving in that way.
Well, to bring a tarot thing into it though, that's cup behaviour.
Yeah.
Having multiple partners and being a bit of a slag bag may sit very uncomfortable with your coins part of your personality.
This again sounds like, you're saying multiple partners slag bag, but there's people who are poly who are happy in that situation.
If your coins personality feels secure,
and there's a lot of people in those relationships who are poly who are stable and happy and have multiple partners, and everybody's happy, and that's awesome. If that's for you, awesome. So we're not criticising people who are poly or anything. We're talking about people who are just generally cluelessly putting their genitals about everywhere.
What we're criticising is people not contemplating what makes them as a person comfortable.
Yeah.
If a woman feels most comfortable sleeping with multiple partners,
good for them.
That's that.
Yeah.
If a man does, that's
good
fine
for
him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if a woman does it, society says that's wrong for a woman. But it's like also a bit cheeky for a man, but otherwise something right. Yeah. But some men don't want to sleep with multiple women. And some women also don't want to sleep with multiple men. This is what I'm saying.
Luckily for us, we both met two people who kind of like monogamy. Yeah. So
in that case, the women don't deserve a medal and the men don't deserve to be like, but you would, though. You wouldn't kick her out of bed. And I'd be like, yeah, I would kick her out of bed because she's a stranger. I do not know who she is. Yeah. But if you woke up next to Charlize Theron, you'd do her, wouldn't you? No, because I'd be like,
why are you in my bed? See, I'd say the same thing as I joke about Till Lindemann knocking on the door, but I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
I know the one I'm married to.
As much as I appreciate your performances on stage and screen, that doesn't mean you can walk into my house, get into my bed while I'm asleep, and wake up next to
Charlize!
Me. No!
There you go, there's a reference for you if you know what we're talking about.
That's exactly the point.
There's an old Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse reference. If anybody doesn't know that, it really is an old Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse reference.
Regardless of whether you're a man or a woman and what your sexual preference is, there are many, as a person, you may, and I probably think most people would be, concerned to find a stranger, even if they're a celebrity, just suddenly like in an intimate position with them. They just would. And the point is that society therefore rewards men for like thinking, if I just happened upon a random Charlize Theron in my bed, I would take my genitals and stick them right in her. And you're like, no, because you're just supposed to feel a bit like, I don't know you. Who are you? You're not supposed to be rewarded for acting against that very basic and obviously human instinct. You know?
There you go. On that note, we're going to turn this off, and he's got to go and get Dylan from school. So thank you all for watching. If you've been by, and if you haven't been by, you should have been by. We've had a good stream. But this is going on YouTube's anyway, so feel free to come and have a look at my YouTube's channel. I'm Zan's Wonderland on YouTube's as well as on here. He's going to take his parent governor form in because he wants to be in charge of the school. And we will see you all soon. So thank you. Bye.